Have you ever asked yourself why Stalin is still praised by Russians, even though he was a ruthless dictator? Or why his souvenirs are spread in Russian tourist shops and his statues still remain throughout the entire country? Before I explain and go into details on why this happens and what is the cult of personality, let's take a look at some of these news reports. Now, I am aware the media is not always correct, but I have studied in Russia and I have witnessed with my own eyes the existence of this cult of personality that is ingrained within the mindset of the Russian people, culture and history. I have here 3 articles I want to briefly present. The first one is from the Moscow Times from October 2nd, 2023, talks about Stalin bust appearing at a memorial to victims of Soviet repression. The second one is from the BBC, published in August 2023, so they're all very recent. Russian police investigated for blasting a statue of Stalin. This photograph is quite interesting because this woman clearly has a painting of Stalin, meaning that she sees him on a positive light. His imagery with his face is present all over Russia through statues, paintings, magnets for your fridge, and anything else you can think of. The third one from 2021 talks about Russia's history wars. Why is Stalin's popularity on the rise? From the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. So Stalin's popularity, as you can see here in May 2021, they've done a survey and 56% of Russians polled by the independent Levada Center agreed that Stalin was a great leader. How is this possible considering so many atrocities that he has committed? This is attributed entirely to the propaganda campaigns that were released, including the cult of heroism, including the cult of personality, which is what we're talking about today. The cult of personality is a known phenomenon in history that is a direct consequence of the success of propaganda. It began in the early days of history, reaching its peak with the 20th century and modern warfare, made possible through new forms of communication, through radio, television, newspaper, books, and cartoons. Nowadays, the cult of personality is still present in politics, though it has now been more prevalent through the celebrity culture with the modern worship of athletes, actors, and other types of entertainers. The cult of personality means exactly that, the cult or the worship of a personality. It began to take shape in ancient pagan civilizations like Egypt, Babylon, Greeks, and Romans, and pretty much every other people and culture that worshipped multiple deities that took human form at some point or another. It is a deliberately created system of art, symbolism, and ritual centered on the institutionalized, quasi-religious glorification of a specific individual. Some of the most famous examples in history includes Roman Emperor Augustus, that was alive during the 1st century of the Common Era, who called himself the son of a god after his father, Julius Caesar, was deified after his death. Napoleon I, the Emperor of France in the early 19th century, who employed a group of official artists whose work symbolically linked him to previous generations of great rulers and kings, such as the Roman emperors and Charlemagne. Another great example is George Washington, as his work during the American Independence War cemented him as an American hero that has reached apotheosis status, as painted over in the ceiling of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. In the 20th century, the rise of mass media led to the establishment and flourishing of many personality cults. Autocratic and repressive regimes, like other governments earlier in history, sought to use these cults of personality to legitimize their power. Some cults were centered on figures who had already attained power or prestige, such as Emperor Hirohito of Japan. Others lent credence to new political ideologies, such as fascism in Germany and communism in Russia and China. Perpetuation of cults of personality became a key part of these governments' relationships with their citizens. Ritual displays of loyalty to the personalities of the rulers and the governments they headed became mass phenomena. And personality cults were not limited to the head of government. Propaganda encouraged the quasi-worship by the populace of various figures, such as socialist heroes and members of Adolf Hitler's inner circle. Not to mention, don't forget to check my video on the cult of heroism that took place in the Soviet Union, link below in the description. Nonetheless, politicized cults of personalities continue to exist in the 21st century. Some subjects of these cults are still autocratic leaders of repressive regimes, such as Kim Jong-un in North Korea. And if you think about it, the cult of personality is ideal the more fascist a regime becomes, because it occupies the mind of the masses with thoughts and ideas centered on an individual public figure, thus discouraging the need for any further thinking that could damage the goals and ambitions of the regime, including thoughts of rebellion and thoughts of personal benefit. Today, there is considerable overlap between a cult of personality, hero worship, and cults of celebrities. Some scholars have argued that writers such as Johann Wolfgang von Goethe in the 18th century were the subjects of organized personality cults. Maintaining and controlling a public image in order to cultivate popularity is a key part of life for many modern celebrities, particularly in highly systematized public relation machines like those that promote the newest pop stars or rock stars. The purpose of such cults is not to advance political power, but to benefit in various ways from the continued glorification of an individual or group. This could be through the promotion of a product, promotion of an idea, or anything else. Many celebrities and influential cultural figures can be said to be at the center of modern cults of personality. The cult of personality is useful to inspire and guide the masses towards a desired direction and to convey legitimacy to the power instituted to a certain figure, whether that power is purely political or economical. It is a powerful tool, particularly during times of war, but also a great tool for financial benefits. So what do you think about the cult of personality? Can you think of any other example? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe and like the videos of this channel. See you next time.